Welcome back to The Well Within. I'm your host, Jen Potter. We are joined by Susan Drayton, who is the author of the book Worthiness, and now she's going to be talking about her next book, The Beauty of Naya. So thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And so in our last segment, we talked about her book, Worthiness, and where it came from and how it was directed. Now, you have a second book that you published, and I know you are also working on your third, but your second book, is there a correlation between the first and the second book? Is it a different type of story? I'd love to know a little bit more about it.
There is. As I finished up Worthiness, which got published April of 2017, if I'm not mistaken, I somehow started rolling out these other imageries about mermaids, ships, and ocean creatures and so forth. And it has to do with gratitude. And it's called The Beauty of Naya, which it looks like this. And it's very
Love it.
beautiful. I did
And now,
all
do you do all? Yeah, see, you answered my question. Like, did
I
you do all the
do.
artwork?
I do all the artwork. I did the
Awesome.
artwork for both books.
Yeah.
And so it's about gratitude. And will it be enough to save Naya, which is the body of water, which we all need to not just to survive, but to thrive? And what I love about this book, it wasn't just gratitude, but I illustrated different cultures into it. So it shows to the audience that unity is very important, and it doesn't matter what side of the ocean you're at. This is our earth. It's about environmental as well, and us coming all together. But the thing is, how are we going to come together and work and save Naya and watch her replenish and grow with the ecosystem? And so this is more tailored to the young adults, if you will. I love it because it has a different flavor to it, like a little bit of a mystery. We have the Grim Reaper, which the Grim Reaper, believe it or not, is a happy Grim Reaper.
There's a difference between an upset one and a happy one.
Yeah, in my story it does. In my story it
I
does.
love that. Tell me more.
And what I love is she talks about time. Time can be for you or against you. And within that time, what are you going to do? So it brings us to the present moment where that's all you have. The past is gone, but the future hasn't been dictated. And yet you're in the present. And what does this look like? What does this really truthfully look like? So, yeah, if you don't mind if I read a little bit of it.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I would love that.
So, as the sunlight must part with day to make way for the night's entrance, the salty breeze rolled in gently in the dark as a voice whispers, tick tock, tick, be still and listen to my warning. All of the mermaids and sea creatures were looking about. Who can this be? Another shouted. He will tell us what to do. As some of the merfolk spoke among themselves, a silhouette was slowly appearing. The enchanted voice spoke again and said, living, sharing, and loving should be the ideal thread of strength in order to grow together, to create harmonious world, knowing the value of life with gratitude.
Wow, that's profound. I really, really like that. And it's nice, like just listening to it, and time is so valuable. And we forget about it sometimes. We forget about the fact that, time is precious. And I was speaking with someone yesterday who was like, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. I'm like, I absolutely agree with that statement, and it was a young adult. And for a
Uh-huh.
young adult to say something like that, like that's something that I would say. I've been through a lot of, like having a heart attack and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
know how precious time is. But for a young adult to like have that gratitude for time, I think is really beautiful. And again, just like worthiness, just like both of them have these deep rooted messages that we really want to instill in our young adults and in ourselves as well. But if we can teach them from a younger age of how precious time is, I can only imagine the things that we would step up and do in our lives. And I think that it's a beautiful thing. And so when you get to the end of this book and talk about time, what impact do you really want it to have on your audience?
Well, for this, I just want people to understand that time is a gift. And sometimes we miss our blessings if
Right.
we're not in that present moment and being grateful for every
Mhm.
moment of whatever gift you are experiencing through life.
Right.
And it could be something very minute to some, but it may be everything to someone else. And
Absolutely.
time is just that. It's profound because you just don't know. And for a while, for me, when I was diving into this, I kind of got obsessed with time, where I felt I was never doing enough. I wasn't being enough. I wasn't much of enough. And
Isn't that interesting?
yeah,
You're trying to teach a lesson and you're like, damn it, I'm not doing enough. Like
yes.
you're teaching yourself the lesson as you're writing it.
Hmm.
That's
And
beautiful.
the thing is, with time, ask yourself, where is the quality? Where is
Yeah.
the quality? How is it resonating in that time, that moment, that
Mhm.
capsule? Um, as Mofaha, she's the Green Reaper. She throws the hourglass, and it starts ticking. And for you, whatever that may be, whatever the goal may be, let it work in your favor by taking the loving steps, which is action. Love is action,
Yeah, I love that.
and it's not a noun. And I took
Right.
the action steps to write these books because this is what was inside of me, and I didn't want to waste any more time.
I love that. I love just the whole concept of that and just feeling it and understanding it and why it's so important. And speaking of time, because obviously, you do really take that pride in the time that you're spending and the quality, and you're working on a third book. Now, does
Mm.
the third book have anything to do with the similar first two stories? Like the first two stories you're writing about worthiness and gratefulness and time. How about the third book? And if you want to introduce the title, that'd be really awesome too.
So the third book that I'm working on is Surging from the Kingdom Within. And that really ties all three together, the third
I
book
love
in,
that.
because it's about death and rebirth and how you are now in this new path, and how I'm cultivating myself, and how I'm spreading my wings, and how I utilized my time, where my gifts and skills and talents just came forth. And some of it I had to really invest in it and work and explore and tweak
Absolutely.
it. And now it's me coming into the whole knowing and the rebirth of just spreading my wings, that phoenix,
I
rising
love that.
as to, okay, here I am. This is what all those stepping stones laid out the
Mhm.
path. And now I'm rising, but not only rising, but I'm arriving to what it is that I've always stood in tuned with, that inner voice, and honored it, even though others couldn't hear it, others didn't understand it. So they forth could not help me totally with
Mhm.
it. It had to be me. I had to be the author of my own rebirth.
Ah, that's beautiful. Just yesterday I went to a Buddhist temple and I'm listening to you talk, and I was really getting the whole message of the Buddha. And, I've heard the stories before, but I heard it from people who are living it. And it's exactly what you just said. You have birth, and then you have enlightenment, and then you have death. And each one of those are completely separate in a different phase of our lives, because when you're going to be born, you don't know when you're going to have your aha moment, right? Which you're clearly going through it and you're learning your purpose. And then we don't know when we're going to die. But the beauty behind being there, the beauty between being reborn and serving your purpose. Because when you start to get on that path, I was having a conversation about this. I feel like your whole life changes, and it's so beautiful. And I'm listening to you talk, and I was like, wow, if I didn't hear that story yesterday, I would have still made sense, and I would have believed, more of what we were talking about, but it's that much more beautiful. And I love how that just like resonated through me. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to read this book, because I'm already like, I'm feeling it. I can feel the energy behind it.
I had to essentially was to have the death of the ego, of the old, and do the rebirth, the reborn of the new me, and a more aligned, authentic me. And I'm learning as I'm going along, which is,
oh yeah, it's a learning process.
Yes. And I love it.
Absolutely.
I love that I'm the student. I don't always want to be the teacher. I prefer to be the student, because I'm learning from other situations, other circumstances, other people that I encounter, and still keeping my core values in check and moving it along to a better place. And you can't move when you're in stagnation and you're still holding on to
Absolutely.
old beliefs. And so therefore, this is what I love about this book, this third book, because it's just capturing the rest of my journey, and where it's going to take me, I don't know, other than it's better than before. That I do know.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty
Yeah.
behind it. And when we understand how to remove our ego, and knowing that the teacher is also the student, it's a practice every day. It's like yoga, it's meditation. We're never going to master it. We're never going to master it, because it's constantly evolving and changing. No. And that's so beautiful. And I feel like me and you could talk forever. But I would love if you could tell everyone how they can get a hold of your books, what platforms they're on, how they can get a hold of you.
Okay. So Worthiness was published through Mascot Books, and The Beauty of Naya was through Lulu. But to make it easier, you can go through www.enchantedwingsllc.com, and the links are there, and you can order it directly. And and you should be able to get them. And if you happen to be in Fall River, Massachusetts, you can always come visit me. And if you bring your books, I know I have some, I can autograph them as well. $145. So go.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of your artwork, and because you are such an amazing artist all around. And per usual, I'm so grateful that you took the time to come out here today and talk with everybody. And I look forward to having you back on when we publish that third book.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. That about wraps it up for the Wow Within. Thank you again, Susan, for joining us today. Stay tuned for the next one. You're very welcome. Bye.